There's a quote emblazoned on a wall at Wimbledon. It's from Kipling's poem, If. It reads, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same. In a truly full life, you'll be lucky to have your share of both victories and defeats. In either case, keep finding the courage within you to move forward. The McEnroe family has a long history with this fine institution. I attended for 1 year. My 2 younger brothers graduated from here. We bleed cardinal red through and through. But I do have a bone to pick with Stanford. In March, I get the invite to be your commencement speaker. While I'm busy figuring out my flights to San Jose, my youngest daughter tells me she was rejected to Stanford Law School. She says to me, Dad, you're not going to give that speech, are you? They rejected me. They rejected my cousin, your nephew, and every other person you've ever written a recommendation letter for. Dad, you cannot be serious.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious. That ball was on the line.
And don't worry. My daughter got into NYU. She gets to live in the greatest city in the world instead of slumming it here in Palo Alto. For most of your life as a tennis player, you're out there alone. For better or for worse, it's just you. And that can be terrifying. So when you get those opportunities to be part of something bigger than yourself, take them. Trust me. Succeeding as a team can be as fun as doing it alone. On this campus, I began to step outside myself and see that there was life beyond tennis and academics. Later on, passions like art and music enriched my life in ways I never imagined. So know this, absolutely amazing things are going to happen to you that you can't possibly fathom right now. Because just like I was at your age, you're probably hyper-focused on your career. Everyone wants a great career, but don't miss your life on the way to work. Work-life balance may seem impossible, but it's worth pursuing. It took me a long time to learn that lesson. In sports, you often hear the phrase, winning is everything. But in reality, it's not. The questions you have to answer are, am I getting better as a person? And is what I'm doing bringing me and the ones around me happiness? The answers will tell you whether or not you're really winning. After you succeed at something, you expect the skies to open and happiness to rain down on you. But that rarely happens. The truth is, victory can be isolating. A lot of it comes down to how you handle pressure. And as the high achievers that you are, the worst pressure is the kind you feel internally. Many questions will keep you up at night. Am I good enough? Am I where I should be? I went to Stanford. Why did I not make partner yet? Well, maybe you should have gone to NYU. My dear friend, the great Billie Jean King, will tell you pressure is a privilege. The first time I heard that, I thought she was nuts. Pressure's not a privilege, it's awful. But upon further reflection, I realized she has a point. We're lucky to experience pressure at the highest levels. Don't forget, a lot of people would kill to be in your seats right now. Don't forget the lesson here. Life doesn't always go as planned, and sometimes you need to pivot. And the path you end up on can be better than anything you ever imagined. In 1980, Bjorn Borg and I played in what is considered one of the greatest Wimbledon finals of all time. After 3 hours and 53 minutes of some seriously intense tennis, I lost in 5 sets. Of course I wanted to win. I gave it everything I had, but I wouldn't trade that moment for anything. The truth is, most people don't even remember who won that match and don't care. I once had the privilege of meeting the great Nelson Mandela. He told me he listened to that match on a tiny radio from his prison cell on Robben Island, and that the whole prison hung on every point of that match. That we gave Mandela a brief respite from the excruciating hell of 27 years of political imprisonment meant more to me than any award I've ever won. The lesson here is you don't have to win to be part of something that is truly magical. A few years after that Wimbledon final, Bjorn quit tennis at age 26. It was devastating to me and the rest of the sport. In the mid-'80s, if you were in my path, I would destroy you. Top of my game. But I wasn't truly happy. Why? Because being the best in the world wasn't as good as playing with someone who pushed you to greatness, which is why I begged my biggest rival to come back to the sport. At the time, he said to me, "If you're not number one, John, it doesn't matter if you're number 2 or number 100. Even though I understood where he was coming from, I disagreed with him then and still do. Number 2 is pretty damn good. Sometimes you have to appreciate where you're at in life. If your mentality is if it's not success, then it's failure, your life will be really, really hard. Success gives us another chance to keep plugging away at what we love to do. That's all it really is." My final tennis analogy is this. When a ball is coming at you, you have a split second to decide how to return it. You have a handful of options and make the best decision in the moment. Sometimes you win the point, and sometimes it's an endless rally that you lose. But you take your best shot and keep finding the courage to step on the court. There's a quote emblazoned on a wall at Wimbledon right before you enter center court. It's from Kipling's poem, If. It reads, "If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same." Kipling's point is that one person's victory is another one's defeat. Win or lose, what matters is giving everything you've got. In a truly full life, you'll be lucky to have your share of both victories and defeats. In either case, keep finding the courage within you to move forward. Congratulations, class of 2023. I wish you the greatest life imaginable. Thank you very much for having me.